Hey, what's up, you guys? Good to see you again. We're going to look at some typical telltale psychopathy characteristics. Jordan Belfort, I believe he's a psychopath from what I've seen, a narcissistic psychopath or just a psychopath. I have nothing against him, but this clip where he reacts and goes off on the host of 60 Minutes Australia is really interesting. So let's go. I gotta see this.
You sold no books?
No books. Well, no, not I sold books, but there's huge advances, and until you recoup your advances, then you start to pay. But I haven't made a penny. Every penny since the original advances goes to investors. I haven't gotten one penny.
The Justice Department would also like to know more about Belfort's earnings in Australia. It says...
Did you notice, though, like, what he was doing with his hands? How he was doing a lot of times those are called sleight of hands, and they're diversion techniques because they're trying to distract the person from what it is they asked or gathering more information.
It's not able to subpoena records from the Fordham Company, Belfort's management, because it is based in Australia. Belfort's agreement with the company is oral only. There's no suggestion the company is doing anything wrong, and Belfort believes he's being unfairly targeted by the Department of Justice.
To me, they have very little credibility right now. I've been trying to settle this thing for years, and they've essentially stonewalled me at every step. So I've said enough about this. Let's move on.
Let me ask.
The way that he tried to control the flow of the conversation, like she's the interviewer, and he told her, like, no, let's move on. He is used to being in a position of control. He's used to being in a position of power where he gets to dictate, he gets to direct. That would have worked on most people more than likely, especially with his disposition.
Ask you this
No,
one
let's
thing.
move on, okay?
Damn.
Honestly, I'm ready. I'm
let
not
me
going
go
to
back.
get attacked here.
The company is doing anything targeted by the Department of Justice.
To me, they have very little credibility right now. I've been trying to settle this thing for years, and they've essentially stonewalled me at every step. So I've said enough about this. Let's move on.
Let me ask you this
No,
one
let's
thing.
move on, okay? Honestly, I'm ready. I'm not going to get attacked here. You're here, so I'm done with this. Next.
I'm not attacking you.
No, but
That was, he's accusing her of attacking because she's asking a question. He literally just accused her of attacking. She's an interviewer and she asked him a question. We've seen interviews where an interviewer is trying to get someone in a gotcha moment. That was not a gotcha moment.
honestly,
I'm just.
You're a very nice woman, but you're starting to like get to the point. It's obviously just the hatchet shop here. So I'm kind of like, pretty much.
But you're a very nice woman, so trying to appeal to her ego, trying to measure her up, trying to belittle her, and then retake control of the conversation. Yeah.
Here, you're here, so I'm done with this. Next.
I'm not attacking you.
No, but honestly,
I'm just.
You're a very nice woman, but you're starting to like get to the point. It's obviously just the hatchet shop here. So I'm kind of like, pretty much ready to move on.
There's nothing hatchet about it.
Well, to me there is.
Well, the last thing is that apparently you have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt?
Dang, did you see his eyes right there? He's fuming. That's a bit of an overreaction, right? But you see him trying to hold it back. Yeah. All right. She shouldn't have responded by saying, I'm not attacking you, because he tried to gaslight her, and by her doing that, she just gave more validity to his statement, and that's when he proceeded to go on with his tactics. She should have just been calm in that scenario and just let him go into the tirade that he was going to go into. But yeah, let's go back just a little bit. Dang, that facial expression right there.
Have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt to hide your income?
Next question.
You see how he just like laughed at her? He tried to once again belittle her, put out a sense of grandiosity. I'm better than you, trying to basically make her feel like she doesn't know what she's talking about. Again, to try to provoke a feeling of insecurity in her and to redirect and take control of the conversation because he's the one that's feeling insecure here.
Really I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done.
Did you notice the body language and posture when he went out of that situation where he stepped back into the grandiosity and artificial confidence? That's a really important part as well. So, yeah. This is kind of like classic.
I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done.
Why can't-
oh my
why can't
God, you got a lot of nerve, boy. I'll tell you. Honestly, really, you know, honestly.
Why
really,
can't I
that is
ask
just
these
honestly,
questions?
and I was told this was a friendly, nice interview, and that's no one has ever treated me as disrespectfully as you have, really.
You see how you played the victim there? You told her no one has ever treated me as disrespectfully as you have. I thought this was friendly. I thought this was nice. So he's, again, trying to control her behavior, trying to get her to feel like she did something wrong. And so when you're in a relationship, a friendship with a narcissistic psychopath or a narcissistic sociopath or just a psychopath, they will do things like this, and you have to look at it from an outsider perspective, because when you're in the middle of it and there's all of that emotion and heat and animosity in the room, sometimes you might start to think, is it me? Did I do something? No, like, take a breath, take a step back and observe and watch the behavior. And you're going to notice that they go into complete meltdowns, complete temper tantrums, and you're not saying anything. You're not even fueling the fire. You'll see them go into these complete tantrums and you're not even doing anything. You're not saying anything. And they're just going on and on and on into these tantrums, into these breakdowns, and they're going to accuse you of doing the behavior. They're going to project onto you. So this talks about the issue of narcissistic personality disorder and psychopathy with projection, where it's, you're doing this to me, you're doing that to me. I've never been so attacked in my life. Imagine if you're an empath, right? And you're hearing this and you're like, oh no, I'm attacking this person. They've never been this attacked before. They've never, oh no, what did I do wrong? And you start to hear it from their point of view if they're gaslighting you. If they're very intelligent like Belfort, this can really get to someone's head.
Why
Really,
can't I
that is
ask
just
these
honestly,
questions?
and I was told this was a friendly, nice interview, and that's no one has ever treated me as disrespectfully as you have, really. Okay?
The Wolf of Wall Street uses his criminal past to sell his future. But try as he might, he hasn't been able to convince everyone he's a new man.
And I get
She handled it okay. Those journalists, they know how to see through this stuff and they know how to conduct the behavior. Let's go forward just a little bit.
All right. Okay.
Let's give it a whirl.
Let's.
Yeah.
Eventually, a still displeased but more composed Jordan Belfort returned.
Yeah, and now he comes back. So after he threw that rage, that fit, that tantrum, in order to try to gain control of the situation, he was pretty much just trying to create a diversion and a distraction. After he does that, he throws this huge rage, this huge tantrum. He then comes back smiling and happy. However, if you notice the way that he looked at her as he was coming in, there was like a look of suspicion that he was giving her. Like he didn't trust her, like she had to prove something to him. And this was a way of basically inducing the idea in her mind that maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should be nicer this time. He was giving her an expression of like, are you going to be a good girl? Are you going to behave this time? Like, I'm going to go back to that part. Before he sat down, even the way he kind of crouched down and looked at her like that. Like, man, this is so classic. All right, let's go back.
asked to pay for this stuff.
All right. Okay.
Let's give it a whirl.
Let's.
Yeah.
Eventually, a still displeased but more composed Jordan Belfort returned to finish the interview. What is your...
You see his body language, how it's open now, and I'm going to tell you what you want to know. This guy practices body language. He studies body language. He's a body language, I don't know if I want to say expert, but he studies body language. He studies vocal tonality. He studies expressions. So everything he's doing, I'm not going to say everything, but what he's doing is very contrived. It's very thought out.
One greatest regret?
My greatest regrets for sure is losing people money. Absolutely. If I could have done, if people say, would you change anything? I said, I just wouldn't lose people money.
That's BS. That last statement seemed very rehearsed, and it seemed like he was telling people what they wanted to hear. So it's not bad that he committed a crime. It's not bad that he did what he did, but it's bad that he lost people money. This kind of opens up people to the idea of, well, if he commits a crime, maybe that's okay, as long as he's making me money, right? So that's kind of the idea he's trying to induce. I enjoy certain things that he's done. He is what he is, but he's a psychopath. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Like and subscribe. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll talk to you later.